Yeah, I'm on saturated. Blessings on blessings, you call me blessings. These my blessings can all be touching. I know my level, my man, don't stress me. The puppy bless me, I'm here to party. I want war, you're a zombie. I want body that crawl, you're a zombie. Batting up, bring your jealous zombie. I got a party, people dancing, you're a zombie. Sanko, me, I want to do it like Paco. Waiter, bring the liquor. Me a poor man, someone spend the paper. Waiter, bring the liquor. Me a poor man, someone spend the paper. I said nobody, I want party. I want you to go down low. I want you to find it slow. Mama, you rock the show. I'm ready to spend some more. And I'm gonna, you know, sit down, I'm gonna check. See, I see no time for check. Man, I want you to dance like you ready, don't care. And do the dance for the zombie set. It's me and you, mama, no more stress. I want to dance. You myself. I want war, you're a zombie. I want be a zombie. Got a party dancing, you're a zombie.
We don't go dish your face. Got the children want a photo. Yeah. That do or die when they shake come around. You know, Ulamu bless me, the papa bless me, yes, why bless me, you cannot stop me. The money can never go low. You say that I got no heaven low. Papa, your man on papa. Ragaza, no remote than the star. I bless you, first go up, the transformer. My blessing full of respect.
I want war, you're a zombie. I want body that crawl, you're a zombie. Batting up, bring your jealous zombie. I got a party, people dancing, you're a zombie. I said nobody, I want party. I want you to go down low. I want you to wind it slow. Mama, you rock the show. I'm ready to spend some more. And I'm gonna, you know, sit down, I'm gonna wait down, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper. Wait down, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper.
Yes, beats.
Mama see bless, Mama see bless,
Yes, beats.
Everybody die, but not everybody live. Everybody have just one life to live. Please do your do and don't come my way. But I say miss my Hennessy with Hennessy, I wanna anything. Let go, but I must enjoy. I got to enjoy. I tell you, but I must enjoy. I got to enjoy. To look for money, said I'm smarting. I want the money, I want smarting. One life to live, it on me. I'm a blessing, God and looking like the fasting. Forget my matter and carry on. I want the people in millions. If you my friend, stay constant, you chameleon. The only go on, know how come on. I don't wanna know how the feeling said, how the feeling said. I'm a feeding, be the feeding, yeah. Yet I want control what you got there. If that bucket there, I want hold you let it bucket, yeah. No money, no family, not a friend, not at all, you be nobody. No money, no family, not a friend, not at all, you be nobody. Everybody die, but not everybody live. Everybody have just one life to live. Please do your do and don't come my way. But I say miss my Hennessy with Hennessy, I wanna anything. Let go, but I must enjoy. I got to enjoy. I tell you, but I must enjoy. I got to enjoy. I say way down, bring it way down. One left to live, shake it way down. If you leave, well, then you in your grave now. But a human being, you can certify the other being. I just wanna do it my way. I beg you to it your way. I wanna enjoy my way. What thing I get, let's say for the profit. No.
Good morning to all of you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday morning. Good morning to the folks listening and watching on our KOOL 2 this morning, KOOL Online 2, watching us, listening to us as well via radio. We say good morning to all of the contents in Liberia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on your location, which part of the world you find yourself this lovely Tuesday morning, the 16th day in the month of March, after celebrating Liberia first independence. And it's only heard on KOOL 91.9 from the city of Pinji. This is where we walk the walk and talk the talk and help to shift the paradigm of our democracy without fear, without favor. We speak undiluted truth to our people, our nation, with critical analysis where little you have the time to participate as well. But on this wonderful day, it promises to be great, stimulating, thought provocative, and we all will together place Liberia on the spectacle to make sure that we are moving and getting where we should be getting as a nation, as a people, and the oldest country currently in Africa. Welcome, folks. I'm WEEKIE Brooklyn folks. Certainly will be joined by Jane Attorney B. Vice Senior, and together we will be your serve. We serve people a lot of breakfast up until 10 o'clock this morning. Morning rock comes away Mondays to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we say good morning, as usual, to our motorcyclists. Good morning to our commercial drivers and passengers. I hope you people are going places of work, vehicle campuses as well, in peace and not in pieces. And to our care drivers and passengers as well. Good morning. Those of you already at your business might give me So we say welcome to all of you, folks. Welcome. Let's start up again. We'll take a breather. We'll come back and walk you through some of the trending issues in this country.
Yeah, I'm on situation. Blessings on blessings, you call me blessings. These my blessings can all be touching. I know my level, my man, don't stress me. The papi bless me, so I'm here to party. I want war, you're a zombie. I want body, that crow, you're a zombie. Batting up, bring a jealous zombie. Me, I want to wear like Paco. Waiter, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper. Waiter, bring the liquor. The poor man, someone spend the paper. I said nobody, I won't party. I want you to go down low. I want you to find it slow. Mama, you rock the show. I'm ready to spend some more. And I'm gonna, you know, sit down, I'm gonna check it. See, I see no time for check it. Man, I want you dance like you ready, don't care. And do the dance for the zombie says. It's me and you, mama, no more stress. I want to dance, I feel myself. I want war, you're a zombie. I want body, that crow, you're a zombie. Batting up, bring a jealous zombie. Got a party, people dancing, you're a zombie.
When Uncle D show face, all the children want a photo.
Yeah.
That do or die when they shake come around. You know, when I'm bless me, they papa bless me. Yes, why bless me? You cannot stop me. Your money can never go low.
Ask somebody to listen and watch as well. As you also have the chance to share. Leave your comments on our KOOL Online 2 page. We'll certainly read it out for you this morning as we all set and ready to talk some of the high things that usually are not spoken about our country, and ask ourselves some of the hard questions that we need to ask ourselves. Are we getting there as a nation, as a people? or we are having a missteps in all of what we are doing, and we need to get ourselves and getting right, and making sure that we rewrite all of the wrongs. Because there's a quotation that says, sometimes it could, when things go wrong, it better help you to become a better person, and you appreciate the right thing. But this morning, we want to say to all of you joining us this morning, it's a pleasure having you watching, listening, reading as well on this wonderful day. We've been thinking and talking to individuals who have lived long before us in this country. I want to see Liberia, at this time, pretty close to 200 years of existence as a country, as a nation. We are now here, back again. Yesterday, we celebrated the first president birthday of this country, Joseph Jigen Bravo, just in their celebration. What is the super reflection? Is Liberia on a threat or at the verge of collapse based on greed and wickedness from our leaders, political institutions, and individuals in this country, and knowing fully well Liberia as the age she currently has, that people in Central Monrovia, you can go and do your research. People in Doe community, Vlagba, other places, are still living without pipe-borne water. The odious country in this country, greed, political stability in this country is a serious problem. People are leaving one political institution after years and defending and now speaking out. People in Central Monrovia State cry for electricity, pipe-borne water, basic social services. If a first-aid nearby clinic in Toronto, have you sat and thought about what happens in Bapolo County when women are giving birth into the forest, wanting to get into Bobolo? Have you thought about the people in Grangeville, in Grand Crew? And we say we are the odious. What image are we selling? You read Transparency International Corruption Index, we are lacking far behind with the fight. But we are celebrating, we are establishing a lot of political institutions on a daily basis. We're all looking at China had long sold herself to the world. She sold herself to her people right in China. And today, she's stamping her presence in Africa and other places. China has left Asia and know that she serves as a superpower. In West Africa, we cannot even boast. Just in the sub-region, in the Mount realm, we are not the strongest. We cannot boast about military. We cannot boast about economy. Our neighbors are far moving ahead of us. Sierra Leone is the fast developing. Ivory Coast, you need not to talk about it. Guinea is up there. When will we become a superpower? Is greed and wickedness and corruption taking away the fabric of our country, of which the first president built this country on. Today we have seen people, deceptions high on the agenda. It's something like people still busting rock to have food on the table for the kids, to foot the medical bill, to send them to school. Go and see the number of injuries on a daily basis. See some of how many kids who are out of school today go Rock Hill. Walk around the Rock Country and see kids who are only understand by those who are building the homes. When you get there to fill the picker or the truck, the kids are having all of the gallons that have been cut into two, told it, then carry them to place it into the vehicles and receive something. People say drinking from creeks in Monserrado, go to Bentor. The Bush have taken over such a city that hosts the offices of the superintendent. And you see in a ghost time, but it is in your city. What are we selling? What are we telling the world? At this time, should Liberia as a nation stay fighting to sell herself? When people should be trooping the way to this country to see all of what we got, we blessed. Our mining sector being controlled by foreign nationals, illegally mining. Our territorial water, we got foreigners, aliens who are now coming to fishing into our water, taking away some of our endangered species, our fights, our wetlands, all of these things. We still beat our chests. How many cases of corruption are we fighting? What story are we telling? The word. We got our independence long before some of the country. Vietnam today is blessed with over 20 billion years, with huge production of rights, feeding of people and sanity. India, moving industrial value, it's fast moving and giving back billions of dollars. Though there are 1.some billion people yet to stay. China will feed the 1.5 billion people and still feed the rest of the world. But we are celebrating, establishing new political party, people leaving, and others when they are leaving, you hear them talk. That greed, wickedness, deception, looters are all around. Security, we cannot even boast about security in the sub-region. We cannot even boast about our economy into the sub-region. What can we show the world today? That after 170 plus years, what can we as a country stand on and say, yes, we are blessed, we can stand on this thing, we know how to, full insecurity for our country. We eat, we consume more of what is produced and grown out of Liberia than what we eat into this country, that we ourselves, our farmers, been empowered to grow. All of our sector seems to be gradually going down. Politics have overshadowed the true essence of our country. Go and see and make your research for yourself. Thanks so much to Legends. Today they are partnering with the University of Liberia, formerly the Liberia College. Later became a university in the 50s, to offer bachelor degree in statistics. Are we fully ready and capacitated with the right professors who will teach our people, those who want to obtain degree in statistics? Or we're not establishing another department where all of the noise we have to come? To what extent are we sold this institution? Are we educating our kids who are into grade school and telling them where they will develop the mind that, yeah, I can have a degree in statistics, statistical science? Or we are now establishing an institution where we will have to go and after a period of time, drop some 10 years back when we saw people in the sporting world having premiership. Oh, the Premier League in Ivory Coast, in Guinea, in South Africa, in other places, in England, in Italy. Premium as the standard. What we did, we jumped straight into it. And after a period of time where we were not even prepared and ready, we have to dissolve the issue of having a Premier League, and we revert to our old status, the first division, second division, third division. Are we now taking another step? When professors are complaining and crying, have we taught our professors already? Do we have people who will go on to teach these things? The more graphing, all of these things, people are graduating. But to what extent, how are we being able to prepare? Because we asking some of our professors, and they're telling us in the background, son, we are not ready. At the end of the day, we will be telling our people again, yeah, you know, we did not do due diligence to ourselves and our people. That's why we just got involved into this matter. This is Liberia. What story are we telling the world? What are we telling them? What are we telling all of these things to our children who are coming up right now? Folks, this is just some of the questions we are submitting to you this morning. In split second, you hear people saying, we are still talking about roads after 100+ years. America sold herself to her citizens, and the world is currently buying her ideas. Her presidents, Russia, Germany, South Africa, have shown herself to be a superpower on the continent. Nigeria, they are fighting corruption and gaining the fight gradually, where millions of dollars, billions of dollars being returned by those who depleted their coverts during the regime of Sani Abacha the late and others. We got anti-graft institutions. How many institutions have we had over the years? In the last 20 years, what can we show? So yeah, in the last 20 years, we were able to have a restitution of over 3, 4, 5, 6, or 10 million from those who looted our coverts. And we were able to talk to banks. Also, we were able to talk to foreign partners, government. And some of the assets were frozen and turned over to this country, and we currently run it in how? When homes are being built in split seconds, where others have assumed power in a short period of time, and you'll find people asking themselves some of those questions. Today, there are thousands of people in Maserati that needs the help of Maserati. So imagine though in Babolo, Grand Cape, Mount County, and other places that need help. And you get to know say yes. At this time, what story are we telling? Forget about all what you want to say and think, and just picture Liberia just for a moment and get to know whether we are headed in the right direction. You listen to the report. Liberians are divided on the issue where Liberia is headed. Some say Liberia is headed in the wrong direction, while others saying, yeah, we on the right path, on the right trajectory, we headed for prosperity, and others are arguing with us. And that is not possible, because if this was possible, we've got prosecuted people long for crimes they committed over the period of time. We stay asking ourselves some of these questions. Well, politics has taken over everything into this country. Today, go and see how many of our young brothers who have now gone to the streets, threat to our peace and security. Wake up in the morning. What country? We wake up in the morning, we see bodies, mysterious deaths, investigation, reports yet to be made public. Committee set up after time. You hear this committee set up to investigate this. Liberians are in the thousands, they're waiting on the stimulus package. And still, what when will this come? To the banks and going after business people who took loan, and during the heat of the coronavirus, government says you are putting a lot of money out, debt paid, shut down. People ask all of the questions. Where did the money go? As a nation, as a people, what can we boast about? You hear people talk normally, say a rich country, but poor people. How do you reconcile these statements? How can a country be rich? It says that we are children of a lesser God and not being blessed with a leader who has the country at heart, and or have the right people with the right mind in the right position to do the right thing. Liberians are still boasting about the beaches in Sierra Leone when they go there. They are telling you how the Sierra Leoneans are fast developing. They're telling you about getting, say, look, every time you visit Guinea after 3-4 months, as soon as you come back and you go back, you will see a new road over her bridges. Ghana, you hear Liberians telling you will not even see the flight when you land at the airport. Ivory Coast, they talk about Abidjan, and everybody talk about it. What are we telling people landing in Liberia? What image are we selling for our country? Our tourism sector is fighting for survival. And everywhere, everything. But we are celebrating. And we keep asking the question in the last 2 weeks, which sector is actually performing than the other? Which sector of our country? Today, individuals are scoring high mark where government should take full responsibility. Look, in Grand Crew, over 20 teachers, volunteer teachers, are now being paid for the deputy speaker pocket. For Nanti Kofa as a man, people who are educating people in public schools, he's now the one paying teachers for his pocket, offering him stop paying, when this should be a government that should do that. Now I'd like to say good morning.
Good morning, Liberia, and it's good. It's a blessing again to be on the radio with you. Thanks so much, and thanks to all of our listeners up this morning. It's good, and I'll listen to you, and sometimes you sound like a preacher man, and I say, yeah, preach the word, preach the message to the Liberian people. It's worrisome, Wiki, and like you said, look at the issue of frustrating of security. Uh, 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 just imagine the Liberian National Police announcing of the Isakaba group, Isakaba.
Yeah, the IG is talking about the establishment and who has this.
Yes, you know what Isakaba is. I've seen the Nigerian movie. Yes. What Isakaba is. How deadly these guys are, though they think from the Nigerian angle to work in the interest of the community, to take away those harmful people from within that midst. But for Liberia is a totally a different case, and today they are proud to announce Liberia. And these are some people asking, where are the securities? You know, just recently when the police spokesperson Moses Carter, he said Liberians should rest assured that the night patrol of the Liberian National Police is being reinstituted, and this time around they are heavily armed. They are fortified, and all of those things, and the Liberian rest assured that they will be moving out in the night. So asking the question, will you as an institution, as a body clothed with the authority of protecting lands and property, will you wait until bodies are found all over before you start to do your work? It's so sad. This just clearly shows that these guys are sleeping. The Liberian National Police, who should be protecting Liberians, they are sleeping. That's why we ask the question, where are we going? When this body that is clothed with the authority of protecting Liberian people, at night, they are sleeping. They are dead. People died anytime and about anybody will. Now they are assuring Liberians that they are coming out. It just shows how lazy these people are.
You know, and this is a serious matter. And looking at the overall picture of our country called Liberia, if you look at this, the country, you know, the very first thing, the foundation of any country. Now, if you look at a country like Liberia with a rich history of Christianity and Islam, that these two religions have been able to coexist over the period of time, and yet and still we are underdeveloped, we lack security, we are low when it comes to moral fortitude in this country. It tells you that it's worrisome, that greed, deception, corruption have caused this country to make us look like we are children of a lesser God.
Yes.
Our country cannot be reached in terms of Christianity and Islam, and yet and say we are at this level.
Yes.
We cannot even boast of our strength in the sub-region between Africa, Guinea. Any one of these countries can run over in 3 seconds.
And these are the two leading religions of the world, Islam and Christianity.
And imagine how low we are.
It's sad to notice Liberia with the trend we are on today. Liberia is barely paralyzed.
Sunday moving in the communities, not just Sunday moving in the communities. You hear the drums and the sinking of people in various churches next door. Back to back. And yet they say corruption is still high. Security is still poor. What? So so God is not answering all of our prayers? You wake up in the morning, you hear the last speaker from the very mosques. The imam, the people are calling for prayer.
Early in the morning.
The speakers turn out.
You know, sometimes that's why when you look at the workings of the Liberian National Police, especially its Inspector General Patrick Sulu, you know, in April, right after the state of emergency was being announced by the president, he was one of those. He was the chairman of the Joint Security at the time, Colonel Patrick Sulu, and he was mandating the joint security to be robust, enforcing the 3 p.m. stay-home order for the next 14 days. And just imagine, he was calling on citizens to not be seen outside. Yeah, they're gonna do this. And they were flocking people to be inside because of the measure put in place by the government. The police were moving in all of the look and crannies of Prince City and all those areas that were quarantined. But surprisingly, right after when all the issues were being relaxed from 3 to 6, 6 to 3 again, all those issues, instead of putting through AIDS, men, they went to bed. We can just imagine. See how our cities, the country like Liberia is vulnerable. Our security sector, they are weak and they are greedy and selfish.
Yeah.
These people only work in a day. Trust me, Wiki, they only work in a day. At night, they are all dead.
Our unprofessional armed carriers are seen on a daily basis reports of deaths across the country. Halfway investigation.
You saw about the stabbing of Rab Masale there in Marshall area. And a police officer, a senior police officer here led of stabbing somebody, a peaceful citizen. Trained officer who should have all the capability of apprehending someone and say, yes, you should be investigated. You take kitchen knife.
Yeah, armless.
You see how
armless. And you know, it borders around our development in terms of how people read these reports from Liberia. You know, most of the time when we are saying these things, you think you want to give a bad image, someone you negatively would think, you know, journalists in our country, analysts in the country want to give a bad image.
It is a reality. But what can we do to help it? You can only help any situation when you recognize where you are. Their status can only be determined by improvement. If you don't determine where you are, how can you move ahead? What if you are going the wrong direction? Where are you going? We should be able to recognize that these are the problems that Liberia is faced with today. These are the problems. Like you said, similar package. There are a lot of the folks who were promised similar package are still waiting. And it was on the backdrop of this similar package thing that led allegedly a police officer stabbing a peaceful citizen.
You followed the report last month in Johnsonville, where citizens turned out in the numbers and started to break into one of the places there where you had the similar package being placed, and they were demanding that they needed their share, and they were forcibly trying to break through to get the similar package. And the police, the president of the security, could not even stop the number of people who turned out in the numbers. And finally for us, we were just on the spot when Musa Massacre reported life, and police were asking for reinforcement. In this time, all of the ministers and directors are the ones who are being carried around with armed officers while depots and zones are left with armless officers at the middle of the night, to the detriment of the peaceful citizens who, most of the time when they are attacked, running for safety, those officers themselves will not risk their life because they just don't know where they're going and what that person has. And investors around the world will be reading the story of Liberia and say, look, tourists that want to come to this country and go to other parts, and say, if we cannot have security in the height of the country, which is Maserati or Monrovia, where bullets are falling in cars, where I get in a vehicle and say I'm going to Ball County at the Patawee waterfall and take some photos and look at some of these historical sites across the country, he or she would say to us, no. And we will be short on revenue for that purpose, because security brings investment.
Okay.
We stay asking ourselves pretty close to 4 years. We cannot boast of one direct foreign investment from this government. You listen to Michael McCarthy, the U.S. ambassador. He has been clear. He said, you can only escape the issue of unemployment if you encouraged investors to come to the country and maintain the ones and not to exploit them. The one you have, our mining sector are currently in the hands of foreign nationals. You listen to the deputy speaker, he said, in Grand Crew, on Rufunati to Kofa said, He pointed
And,
finger
and,
at
those are the people that are
Ghanaian.
protected by the Liberia National Police. They use our armed officers to protect those people and leave
Hands in his pocket right now and paying teachers. You know, you will hear people hailing him and telling him thank you for these things. We all say yeah, but is this the way? Should a single man decide to pay teachers that should be on the payroll of government, volunteer teachers? You retire teachers without a proper package to replace and give them the retirement package. Today, schools are short, public schools are short on teachers. And a single man is paying 20 volunteer teachers in Grand Crew County that are yet to be on government pay list. And we are clapping and dancing. Where he gets the money from, how he earned this money, is not the concern any longer. Can you pay 20 teachers and say, yeah, we're heading in the right direction, our education system is improving? So what happens if he stops tomorrow? What happens if he gets tired? Say, look, I'm okay now.
But he definitely will get tired. How long would he? Didn't Joe just be the first? How long? That just shows how the direction Liberia is taking a trend.
Yeah, that's the same thing you were just talking, and we're talking this morning. All of these things border around security. In this country, there's no job security. People are working tirelessly in this country. No job security. You get threatened on a daily basis. You get injured. How many institutions in this country are concerned about how people get to work? People work for government, they transport themselves, no security. Insurance, seriously lacking, you cut the money, but when the people sick, they take their case to the hospital, you pay extra money. No job security. Before we talk about state security, you are not secure. In this country, there's no guarantee of work where you work.
No security.
Nobody cares about how you get to work, at what time. It's about the job you do.
They want to find you there, and you are fired at will. You no term of reference. So yeah, go and work, and there is no protection. This leads to security.
Do you know how many of our brothers who got injured while working? You know, doing the construction of the ministerial complex, we were able to unearth the buy labor practices from the foreign nationals there, where our brothers will be made to go for lunch for only 30 minutes, and after that, you will not enter if you stay above 30 minutes. But foreigners, aliens were there, were going for 1-2 hours. People were buying their own protective gear.
Even members of the Liberia National Police, they are crying. No job, no security for them. No security.
Do you know how many of them who yet to have the month pay, and they still looking at the phones?
They are suspended at will of their commander, and you will go.
And people not telling them, this is what people telling them. The commanders are telling them it is the delay from this bank. It is the delay from that bank with our investigation conducted. The banks are no longer in charge. The checks now been written by the Central Bank of Liberia after the Minister of Finance boasted in this country just 2 months ago that civil servants were going to receive what the earners will work for the 20th of every month. That has not even worked for a week.
As Liberia now, what are the 20th of every month?
And that's why we asked the question on that agenda day. Is it a political statement?
It's another talk.
Yeah, or a statement that was properly checked and know that this statement can actually be realized and been truthful, and the right people, the technical people are all into place to make sure the things happen. Now that statement been swept under the rug.
And you know why Liberian problem continue to persist? It's because Liberians themselves, they fail to realize or recognize where the faults are. Our leaders refuse to recognize where the problems are. So they turn or make things to feel that everything is all right. You cannot have everything all right when you are having these kind of situations. It is best that you recognize that things are not all right, and you gear towards settling these things, then you can move forward. Other than that, you remain right where you are.
Now,
it's so shameful for Moses Carter to realize that peaceful citizens being harassed. That's the reason why they have placed the patrol. They have activated the patrol of Liberia National Police. Now they are calling on Liberian citizens or committed dwellers to cover it. So I ask the people, where is the community service arm of the Liberia National Police? Where is it? And this is one of the arms that was strongly supported by United Nations. Where is it? Where are they? Are they still alive?
2 months ago, you listened to a stout,
God,
a fire-burning politician, tough talking of the ruling establishment. Minister Tue, that Tue needed help. It is not about boasting. He talked about looking at our foreign service and appointing a business charge affair. Those who can go out there to negotiate, to talk to investors and say, look, we need to come. But before we do all of these things, it has to be with the level of security. If we do not sell our country that we are fully protected in this country, they talk, they walk, we will still have this problem in the next 20 years.
Has Tue himself recognized that there are missteps on his side? He has not recognized that there are missteps. He has never recognized that the way in which the form of manner in which things have been governing the country is moving in the wrong direction. He has never recognized this. How can he call for help? You can only call for help when you are recognized that there are missteps.
And now
everything people have said is good.
Now
everything all right.
And another thing here, this thing, around our security in this country, there is this for all sectors, all of the security apparatus in this country, this hard feeling of divisiveness existing in them. Officers are dissatisfied with the way they've been treated. Some of them who've been reassigned to places that they were not giving any benefit to settle. Imagine you take somebody, you send them to Grand Bassa. Yeah, you get a letter. As soon as you go to Central, they give you a letter. You are signed in Bone County. And that man goes to Bone County or to Grand Bassa, Lofa, and starts to look for a room to rent with the salary that he earnestly working for. Now, that is a threat to national peace and stability of any country. Where the money I work for, when I should be taking it home. And I've been told that money, I will have to use it to do government work. I go to Grand Bassa County, I've been assigned there, and I'm going to look for a room. I will have to buy my mattress. That man will be corrupt. He comes across drugs dealer or drug trafficker. At the end of the day, whatever is put before him, he will certainly receive it and escort you, give you maximum. It is a risk and threat how our security is being treated. So you just leave the civilian out of that they are on their own.
And WEEKIE, even there are some officers that were disrobed, that were dismissed. They are still working. There are others too who are in the private sector and still acting as police officers.
Yeah, because coordination is a serious problem.
All of them.
You listen to the lawmakers when they summoned the minister, they summoned the RG and the rest of other folks, and they said they were not aware of that. The decisions to retire the people came from the civil service agency and that of the Ministry of Finance looking at these things. Now, you have not been able to recruit over 10 years in this country. You are retiring officers without a proper plan to recruit. The size, the numbers keep decreasing and you are not idle. But overnight, the DEA officers are increasing.
All of them.
The immigration.
There are DEA officers pretending as police officers, DEA officers pretending as AFL soldiers. The area soldiers, it just, just recently, just imagine right around the president's residence, a fellow was arrested who was purporting himself as an AFL soldier. He was arrested. He was trying to snatch away one of those bike riders' bike, and he was met. He met with huge resistance from his bike riders, and then some of the fellows began to join him, and just to observe that he had no force in handling them. Just to recognize that he is not a personnel of the armed forces of Liberia. But you see how dangerous these people are, you see how dangerous is getting the country? Because our security, they are just dormant. You know what? So the people, you move to homes, they move to places and do things. People say, like, yeah, that's right. But not, I put him in. Where are the chair behind him? You don't have advocate.
If you critically observe, not, and this is a serious concern, and we are hoping those in charge will take cognizance of this and make sure that these things are corrected. You cannot even identify a police officer from EPS officer. Everybody gets up one morning and decides to dress in any uniform for any security agency and care less about that. You see the DEA officer, the LDEA officer dressed, you think he's a police officer. He's fully attired. You see the immigration man, he's dressed like he's a military man. You think he's in the army.
You see the police aide dress as aide.
You cannot even properly identify.
Oh, Liberia.
You cannot identify an EPS officer from the police officer in terms of their uniform and how they do it. Everybody dresses his or her way. They care less about that. And they go to make arrests. You see no badge number. And you made a request. You say, my friend, when you reach at the depot, then you can ask this question. When the very same inspector general or time pass and president with instructions, do not submit yourself to any officer when they go to make arrest except that officer identify themselves. Go to immigration. Immigration got more than 5 different ID cards. Send my other time that people who stay carrying. Since the late people stay carrying his ID card with different signatures. Officers will identify themselves with different signatures on it at this time. And these are things that people will sit in the country and carefully study these things. There are people who are spending millions of bucks on a yearly basis to have people making the reports to them, and it scared investors away from coming to our country. Government cannot employ everybody when you lack security. When deaths are being reported and investigations concluded and not made public to the people to say, yeah, these are the cause, and when you put a report, it becomes a report that the public will reject, and you care less about that, but impose a report on them, and you think they have to accept it at all costs.
And that's when you ask, where are the brains of the Liberian National Police? The old senior police officers, some of them, they are retired, then where are they? Because this sector continue to face this problem over and over, and every time they are at a point of just a beginning point. They don't know where to turn. Just imagine a notorious armed robber left from jail, and the police are saying he doesn't even know when the person was free from jail, and now he's up again. He's Sakaba. You see how Liberia, what Liberia is turning into? No security. And when there's no security, the lives of the people are vulnerable.
But you follow what happened,
peaceful citizens.
Yeah.
And the inspector is sitting down there and they're looking at it as a normal thing. We get this morning, look out in Muscle County and other parts. You will see police officers passing up and down. You'll see uniformed police officers. But at night, all of them are dead. Go into the police stations, these substations, these depots. The policemen have been left to police aides. And these criminal, these gangs are the ones that take over at night. Why about police officers are nowhere? Where are these people? Where are the brains that should be sitting there crafting these issues for the future and say, yeah,
story of Christianity and Islam. What are we falling apart? We know we are no longer falling further, but we're falling backward. Because if you fall forward, it's easier to wake up and keep moving. But if you fall backward, it's to wake up, stand, and start thinking how to move forward. Now, these people are no longer seeking knowledge. You know, the pieces of advice from the people who serve in capacity. 3 months ago, we were talking about the police capacity in building it. And thankfully, Honorable Abdallah Kurman, who also served the Liberia National Police in his technical civilian position, building the capacity in the personnel department, we're able to bring up the idea and say, look, the U.S. State Department, they got support for Liberia. Those who are in charge need to engage. Training, he said there are a lot of training available. Look, training, uniform, military equipment will be given, but we are all here. Everybody wants to undo what was already done. As soon as the next person being appointed as the RG, he comes around and turns everybody around. He makes his confidant as Zuno here, director of this, and leave a lot of people with mixed feelings.
Yeah.
And it becomes a terrible situation.
Yeah,
so when you're gone, there are others who were looking so powerful before their colleagues during the regime or the time of the ex-police directors at the time. And so when this person comes to power, your morale is lower, the weapon is taken from you, the radio is taken from you, vehicle no longer assigned to you, and you look common in the eyes of the other folks. Everything seems to be turning apart.
Everything.
Those who have come with the mindset of building, it's difficult because the support lacking.
You know, the World Bank, they are giving money to Liberia again. The World Bank has approved $180 million to support a new project for Liberia's economy. The other money will come, the time will pass, and you see nothing being done about this. And they are talking about a pragmatic approach towards the multi-phase pragmatic approach in increasing asset sustainability, reliability, affordable energy, and the boost of the country's economy. This one is another issue again. The other money will come, and you will check 2 years and look behind and say, well, what the money the people get to Liberia? Because we're going to technocrats were never around. That money will just be, it will just spill over and be wasted. At the end of the day, it's gone. With nothing being done, nothing achieved. We run back to the same very people and ask them again, please come so we can sustain our economy. Please come so we can make our economy reliable. Please come so we can provide affordable energy to our citizens. Please come so we can boost the country's economy. Every time Liberia will go, where are the technocrats? Where are the brains? Where are our leaders that should be putting our heads together and making sure to curtail some of the issues for the future? Where are they? I'm still asking this question. Today, other great world countries have been built by technocrats that are sitting in the background and making sure things work out for their citizens. Look at Liberia. Look at Liberia. And Allison, when you mention anything about China, how China have built that way through. Though they said China was selfish, China kept themselves to themselves. Yes, but let's see how far China is.
It was a building a nation and making the people to believe. Today, China, she's making her presence felt outside of China. She has already put Asia under her control. China is now having a serious presence in Africa. She's selling herself to Africa. And Africans are now buying the Chinese idea.
And like brothers are witness. We are a witness.
Today,
we are a witness.
We are, thousands of Liberians are on scholarship in China. Our roads, there are a lot of things on a daily basis being brought to this country.
So when will we now, with all our problems, when will we put our ideas on the table together and bring it on the table and start to move this country to be a help to other nations? When? When every day we just backing, and what's up all? We receive these things. We receive these things, They gave her these things, they gave her the assistance, but at the end of the day, Liberia, we squander it, we misuse it in the name of everything is all right. Everything is all right. Liberia. Again, Liberia is good that you hear about this thing again. The World Bank has approved another money, $180 million dollars. And this is geared towards to sustain the economy. But at the end of the day, all the things that will come out, the people will spend the money. You check 2-3 years and look back and see nothing being done about this. It's a shame on Liberia. And especially those people that Liberia depend on. Those people, those that have been placed into leadership, how sincere they are to their own people. Look at LEC today. Every time they give money to LEC, LEC is still like a crying baby. Every time they will start over. Every time they start over. As soon partners leave them, they are paralyzed again. They go back on the ground. And when partners come, they wake up.
Yeah, that's why we said, the politics is in the interest of a particular person, and some of these sectors have been placed. Other folks, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is the morning wrap. And very shortly, we will activate the phone lines. But let's go to our KOOL line page to read you some of the comments you've been posting this morning. And this one comes from Omaru Belete. Say, good morning, Mr. Brooks. My name is Omaru Belete, watching you live. As the couple thank Jefferson TSA, good morning, Debbie B and NJV. I am following from my office, Temple of Justice, Republic of Liberia. Please, let us keep the peace of the mother and mama Liberia. We are getting there together. And Diaga Flomo Tupa said, good morning, cool family. My name is Diaga Tupa, and I'm watching you from Jobai community, and I'm sitting close to my radio to get the latest information from your good station. Pretty boy Jay Milk said, good morning, Wiki, and your co-host Natana and my cool listener as well. I'm watching live this morning from a comfortable home in Police Academy roof, Perry Road. Joe Howard Jr. said, good morning, my two favorite journalists of the century. May the Almighty God continue to bless towards the life of yours and the great job. My name is Joe Howard Jr. watching, following you live from Slacker, PA, City, Nimba County. Thank you so much. And Ramaton Akin Robert said, good morning, Wiki, and I'm watching you from Riverside County. And Ambassador Emmanuel S. Johnson said, good morning, cool family. My name is Emmanuel Sandega Johnson. More precisely, I'm watching from Tupotro Coffee. And Ruben Vine said, good morning, cool family. And I'm Ruben Vine, and I'm watching live from Tupotro behind the market. Dallas T. Nimlan said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. My name is Dallas T. Nimlan, and I'm watching your live from Bernard's Fine FDA Community. Thanks for the topic on the discussion. And Ruben Dinah Giddings Skekula, I say, good morning, brother. This is Dinah Giddings Skekula from Totota Bon County. Thanks for the good job, brother. We are in problem in Liberia. And Moses G. Mogai said, good morning, Information Brooks. This is Moses G. Mogai, and I'm watching live from SD Couple. Thanks for the topic on this. Say, good morning, Mr. Brooks. My name is Samuel Bestman, watching you live for Soul Clinic. Henry Coco said, good morning, cool family. This is Henry Coco watching for Soul Clinic OFI. Thanks for the topic on the discussion. And Jesse Blessing said, good morning, Mr. Brooks and Mr. Vi. And I'm watching live from a comfort zone here at Junction. Good to be back on the radio this morning with another edition of a critical national issue. Thank you guys for the topic on the discussion. J. Xavier Goodness said, good morning, my cool family, and good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. And J. Xavier Goodness watching you live from Red Light Market. Thanks for always being there for the Liberian people. As usual, Johnson Saturday Freeman said, good morning, Mr. Brooks and Mr. Val. My name is Johnson Freeman, and I'm watching you live from We Are Live this morning, Mikey B. County. Darius Volker say good morning, Brooks and Vi. I'm following this unique broadcast from the most represented district in Muscle Rider County, specifically District number 6, headed by Honorable Samuel Enders. Abraham Panan said good morning. Ishmael Bobby Joe said good morning, cool family, and I'm Ishmael Bobby Joe, watching you from Bill Cobb WEEKIE, and thanks for the show. We will always follow KOOL FM. Cyrus David says it is bad. We give us. I'm Cyrus David from Soul Clinic. Good morning, KOOL family. My name is Fokwa Zao, watching you from Mount Barclay, Nima United. Thanks for the topic on the discussion. Sarah Davis comes in once again, and this one comes from George W. Cito. Say good morning to you guys in studio. I'm watching live on Nizo. Thanks for the show this morning. Zico Red said good morning, watching live for Banazé Estate. Jeffrey King said good morning, QFF. My name is King Jeffrey, and I'm watching you from Concord Tobacco. Matthew Fokpa Jr. said good morning, sir, and Matthew Fokpa watching live from 72nd Community. Chemical Reactions Victor say good morning, KOOL family, watching live. Ruben Vine said good morning, Mr. Brooks. I'm watching you live from Tupoto Mikey. So welcome, folks, to this wonderful presentation. Let's go to the line now.
And Wikio, that was exactly how Councillor Prayer Bamboo, she's one of Liberia's best. She termed the entire process as greedy and wicked people. And this wickedness is actually undermining Liberia. Like she said,